Welcome back to Human. My name is Jess. I am your host, and happy Monday if you're listening to this the day it was posted, because I will be posting episodes every Monday. So subscribe so you don't miss them. I want to start off this episode by talking about a human-to-human moment. And so this is a new thing I want to start. I don't know. I guess I'll call it a human-to-human moment. We'll kind of see where it evolves to. But what this is going to be, it's going to be a moment that has happened in my past week that has made me smile. And it'll be something that happened probably between me and another human. And I'm hoping to start every episode with this to kind of give you a little update on what's been going on in my life and warm up before we get into the topic of this week's episode. So I have a little bit of a backstory for my human-to-human moment that happened this past week. I am not a country music kind of girl, or I wasn't. I wasn't the person who was really into country music. I more was indie pop kind of girl. And I was like, country's just not really my thing. Until recently, I have always wanted to ride a bull, like an electric bull. And so me and two of my friends were like, let's go to this bar in Toronto called Rockin' Horse and let's ride a bull. Let's go. Like, they have an electric bull you can ride there. So let's do it. They have like student nights on Thursdays. Also on Fridays, it's like women free before 10 p.m. or something like that. And so we were like, okay, we're going to go on Thursday for student night and we're going to ride this bull. And I had never been to this country bar. I'd never been to a country bar, period. And so we go, and I completely have an open mind. And it was so funny. The night going into this, I was like trying to decide my outfit before I headed downtown. And I was like, oh my God, only 2 of my pairs of pants fit me. Okay, that's being a little bit dramatic. I tried on like 3 pairs of pants and some of them didn't fit. And also, granted, some of them are from first year and I am in 4th year. I just don't like to shop, and I haven't shopped in a while, to be honest. And so I was like getting all pissed off because I only had 2 pairs of jeans that I could pick from, and I literally always wear these 1 pairs of jeans anytime I go anywhere. So I was just like, oh, I'm so annoyed of wearing these blue jeans all the time, but whatever, I guess I'm gonna wear them. So I wore them. Thank God I wore them, and then I wore this like cute black like tank top look. As you will hear in this coming episode, a black tank top and blue jeans is like my signature outfit. So that's what I was wearing, and we get to this country bar, and like obviously everybody's in plaid, people are wearing blue jeans, and I was like, oh my God, why was I trying to wear black jeans tonight? This is literally such a blue jean vibe. So I was like glad I had this outfit. And as soon as we show up, there are these girls line dancing, and they're so good at it and they're so chill about it. And then these 2 guys show up later, and then they start line dancing, and I swear to God, it was right out of Footloose. Like, I felt like I was in the movie. It was such a cool moment, and I was like fangirling over these people, and I was like, that's it, I have a new hobby. I need to learn how to line dance. And I've grown up doing musical theater, I've grown up dancing, but I will probably never do like a class again. I probably don't really care to do like vocal lessons again. And like, I don't really like, I've done a few dance classes actually over the past like couple months. When I was living downtown, I would do like a drop-in class, and I tried like a heels class, and I tried like a hip hop class, but I don't know, I just like didn't like love being in a studio again. My favorite part of it was like the performing part. So now I'm like, oh my God, I need to learn how to line dance, because to me, it's like you're literally just at a bar having fun, but you're like all dancing in unison, and it's like so cool. And it's like, oh my God, the song from Footloose, if you're a Footloose person, hey mister, won't you sell me a fake ID? There's some bands in the bar that I'm trying to see. I got my money. Anyway, you don't need to hear me sing the whole thing, but they line danced to that song, and it was phenomenal. I took a video on my phone of like 5 seconds, and I can't stop watching it. So my human moment of the week wasn't even that. I decided to buy cowboy boots. I know, a little ambitious considering I haven't actually line danced before, and there was like barely anybody at the bar on this Thursday night. So I was like, I'm not going to try and learn right now. But I found out on Friday nights Rockin' Horse has line dancing classes, so I will be attending. If you would like to come with me, please DM me, because I don't have a lot of people to go with right now. And so I look on Facebook Marketplace and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so fun. First of all, to like invest in a hobby that has like no other ulterior motive. Like I didn't even plan on talking about it on the podcast. It's not something I'm going to like post about. It's just like something for me for fun. This is making me excited. And so I look on Facebook Marketplace to try and find cowboy boots. Literally within 2 days and like 4 different posts, I'm like, oh my God, are these a women's 9? Okay, can I try them on before I buy them? The woman's like, yes, totally. So then like as in a matter of 3 days after I become obsessed with line dancing, and I literally made my boyfriend watch Footloose with me, which I was actually a bit disappointed. I thought, like, I watched the newer version of Footloose. I don't know. I remembered it more exciting in my head, and probably because I was younger when I watched it. Now I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. But so overall, I go up to meet this woman on Facebook Marketplace to try on these cowboy boots. And this human to human moment, it was like, obviously I call it human to human moment because it's like me, a human, talking to another human and having a moment of like, connection and love. And like, that's why I have this podcast, is because like human to human connection is so important. So I'm like, hi, thank you so much, whatever. I'm like trying on the boots. And she's like, yeah, so like I actually bought these boots in Nashville. I'm like, what? Oh my God. Okay. So these are literally from Tennessee, like so cowboy girly vibe. And like, it's so funny. I never listened to country before this. And now I like texted one of my friends and I'm like, please send me your fucking country playlist. And she sent me like her brother's like cottage country playlist. Like they're my friends from the cottage. And so I'm like, and they always play country at the cottage. And we're always like, why are you playing country all the time? Now me, however many months later, literally listening to his cottage country playlist. And so anyway, this woman's like, these boots are from Nashville. I'm like, what? Oh my God, that's so cool. And she's like, yeah. And she goes, I've only worn them twice. One time when I bought them in Nashville, and the second time when I went to a Tim McGraw concert in Toronto. Pause for dramatic effect. This woman bought them in Nashville and wore them to a Tim McGraw concert. Listen, I don't know a ton about country, but I know Nashville and I know Tim McGraw. Taylor Swift. When you think Tim McGraw, I hope you think my favorite song. Can you tell I did musical theater? Okay, anyway, I'm not going to sing anymore in this episode, I promise. So that was my human to human moment. Like her and I just really connected. She was like, oh, like, and then I kind of did a little line dance step in them when I was trying them on, making sure they fit. And she was like, oh, do you line dance? I'm like, oh my God, just going to start like just in like the early stages of my line dancing hobby. So that was my human to human moment. It brought me so much joy, and it's a great segue into today's topic, which I don't really know what the actual title would be, but the main message is that you don't have to be just one thing. You don't need to constrict yourself and confine yourself to needing to just have a certain style or just have a certain interest or only feel one emotion. And I'm really excited to dive into this because me getting into country and like buying cowboy boots, are they called cowgirl boots? I feel like there should be a version called cowgirl boots. But anyway, let me know on Instagram, human to human pod, if that's a thing, because I keep saying cowboy boots, but I'm a girl. Anyway, you don't need to like pigeonhole yourself into like having only one style. Like for me, I'm like, once I was at the country bar and like I have like short curly hair now, like I cut my hair quite a bit and I'm like, this is me, like this is a vibe, like I definitely can embody this like country girl essence, but at the same time I fucking love a pair of baggy jeans and a black tank top. I'm such a black tank top girl. Fuck, I wish I was wearing that for my outfit right now. I'm at my boyfriend's place and I'm like, luckily he has a podcast stand, like microphone stand. So I'm like using some of his equipment with some of mine. So that's exciting. But anyway, I wish I like more, embodied what I'm talking about in this episode. But again, we can wear different hats and we can show up different styles. I'm wearing leggings and a t-shirt right now. But I feel like there's like this pressure to have like a distinct style and to like only show off this like one vibe of yourself. It's like if you're a bougie Aritzia girl, it's like you're an Aritzia girl and you need to stick with that. But it's like recently I went out for like a night out in Toronto on King Street and that was more like cute high heel booties and like I was wearing like striped dress pants and like a black fancy tank top. I literally just have different styles of black tank tops. That is what I'm learning. Listen, when a girl sweats, you need to like have a shirt that won't show the sweat, okay? Just in my personal experience, I'm a sweater. And so I love having these different options, and I think I'd kind of pigeonholed myself before, feeling like I couldn't wear all of these different vibes when like I can, and you can have that tomboy look, and then you can have that girly girl vibe, and then you can also get into country stuff. And my boyfriend is from India, and so his family is all Indian, and they wear really cool Indian traditional outfits. So recently he came with me and I bought a lehenga, and like now I have this like really cool Indian outfit that like I rock if I go to an Indian event with him or like one of his friends that's Indian, and like that's a whole other culture too. And so it's just like, it's really cool being welcomed into that experience too, because I wasn't even sure if it was appropriate for me to wear like a lehenga or a sari or anything like that. But like, he was like, no, like, it's not like that you can't wear it. It's like encouraged, because it's all about the style. It's all about the bling. Like every time like him and his mom went to India recently, and they came back and they got me a ton of like jewels. What are they called? Oh, I know it's going to slip my mind right now. Bangles. Yes. I'm so glad I thought of it. Like bangles for my wrist. And like, I have a really pretty pair of Indian earrings. And like, he's gotten me into gold jewelry because I was never wearing gold before. I was only wearing silver. And so like, he is expanding my palette that way. And now getting into this country bar is expanding my whole palette. And that is so fucking cool and allowed. And I feel like it just helps us express ourselves in such new ways. I'm obsessed with like my prom dress that like, if it last summer, no, not last summer, 2 summers ago, if it lasts, whatever, one of the summers recently, I don't know if it still would now because none of my jeans fit, but that's okay. Listen, we are meant to change weights and sizes as we grow up. It's literally like a scientific thing that the older you get, it is like normal to put on more weight, because it's like a healthy progression of, yeah, that was a really bad explanation. So I just wanted to really encourage with this realization I had that you can change your hair. Like I fucking chopped my hair off and had a crisis about it, but now it's grown out a bit more and I'm so happy with it. You can change up your jewelry. I got my nose pierced, and I was obsessed with nose rings forever, but just never thought I could be the kind of girl who got her nose pierced. Literally, why? Tell me why I can't get my nose pierced. Like, what logic does that have? And so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get my nose pierced. And now I'm obsessed with it. And also, when other people who are close to you are kind of hesitant for you to like make those changes, just like do it. And then now my boyfriend's obsessed with it, and my mom thinks it's awesome. It's like, people can be scared of change, especially change like, if you're doing it and they can't picture it on you, it's like, just do it. And then just be like, surprise, look at how awesome I look. And this is even true in terms of working out. You can always change the way you work out. I talked about this a couple episodes ago about how I was comparing myself to gym girlies on TikTok and how I felt like I hated lifting weights. And now it's like, I had a really good conversation actually with a friend who was like, there is an element of like suffering when you work out that's like not a bad thing. Like it makes you push through and continue what you're doing. And you come out of it feeling rewarded. So it's not all supposed to be enjoyable every single time. And that was like, oh my God. So you're saying I can work out and it's okay if I don't like love every part of it. And he's like, yeah, you shouldn't love every part of it. It's a workout. It's hard. It's exerting. You need to push yourself. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So even in terms of working out, like I always loved doing aquafit. And then recently I was really bored in an aquafit class, and I used to do classes all the time. And now I'm not really feeling classes. So now I've been doing like 12-3-30 on the treadmill, and I'm trying to like lift weights once in a while. And so you can change your fucking mind. You can change what you're doing. You can change your routine and not feel like bad about it. Not feel like, oh, but I identified as a gym girly, I can't start running now. It's like, yes, you fucking can. And okay, this is one of the more like serious parts of like this episode, in terms of like, you don't have to be just one thing. You also don't have to and can't often only feel one thing. Experiences we go through as humans often come with an array of emotions that we have to hold at the same time. Like if you're going through a really hard transition period, you're probably going to be excited and happy and scared and nervous and grieving, like when you are going through different experiences in life, there is so much going on in your head. There needs to be an element of learning how to hold it all at once. Going through a heartbreak or going through a difficult friendship transition period, it's like you're excited, or in your heart and in your gut, it's right for you. But then there's this other feeling of sadness or anger or hurt or shame or whatever. And so in our life, we need to learn how to hold multiple things at once and know that every feeling that's going on there is valid. fuck, this is so therapeutic for me to even talk about, because I am going through my own hard time that I really do want to talk about in an episode soon. But in this hard time, it's like I want to share it, but I also need a little bit more time to like be over the hard hump of it, because in this current period of time, something I'm experiencing with some of my relationships in my life is this like understanding that they're supposed to change right now, but then this deep sadness and disappointment I feel in some of these experiences and relationships. And then also this like inner deep knowing that I am on the right path and I am going to find the right people. And whoa, it's all a lot. And I'm about to graduate. When you're about to graduate school, when you're about to go through a really big life change, it feels like there's all these expectations on me, but in my core, I know what I want. And it's exciting because I just want this fucking degree to be over with, but it's also terrifying because I'm like, oh my God, I've been in the confines of school for my entire life. What do I do outside of them? And so overall, emotions are complex and we need to guide our brain. This is a new thing I'm starting to really think about, is that like we need to guide our brain, because if we let our anxiety or our emotions just completely take over, then they're in control and then we're just the ones going like, whoa, just trying to like follow along on this like insanity and this swirl of chaos in our brain. But if we direct ourselves to be like, okay, I'm going to journal right now and really like let all of these feelings out, that can be really helpful. Or like, I am going to decide to go on a walk right now, or decide to move my body, or decide to exercise, because I know that's going to help shift this stagnant energy or this negative energy inside of me. We need to kind of like lead ourselves somewhere, and that gets really tiring, but it's also like worth it. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of how you can be more than just one thing is in terms of schooling and career and all that stuff and hobbies. I think we're just put in this box as we grow up. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? What if I want to be like so many things? Oh my God, when I was growing up, I was always like, I could be a teacher. I want to be a rock star. I want to be an actress. I want to be a writer. I want to be, I don't know. There was just a million different things on my plate that I genuinely also still can picture myself doing. I'm like, I probably could picture myself teaching a little bit. I can picture myself going on stage still and performing. I can picture myself being a public speaker. I still want to be so many things. I want to own a home. I want to like Airbnb a home. I want to live on a lake. I want to go swimming. I want to have swimming as a hobby. I want to have line dancing as a hobby. I want to be able to draw or paint or play an instrument. I also want to do podcasting as a career. I want to be a writer. I want to write a book. Like, blah, 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 blah. Like I could just keep going on and on and on. And in society, we're kind of pigeonholed into feeling like we can only be one thing. We have to pick one career and stick with it. And that's why I'm so drawn to entrepreneurship, because as being an entrepreneur, you can be so many different things. You don't need to just like stick yourself in a box and just be like, that's it. You're going to be an engineer for the rest of your life and you're not going to do anything else. And I wanted to talk about this in terms of school too, because I really struggled with this picking a major, and I really struggled with this in terms of electives and minors in my university career. Let's take it back to like high school though. Like I just remember people being like, what are you going to major in? What are you going to take in university? And I was like, I don't fucking know. And I applied for photography and psychology, and I got in for both, and I decided to take psychology. And then now in my fourth year, I'm like, whoa, what would my life have been like if I took photography? That would have actually been more applicable to my current career into like in terms of like hands-on stuff. But yes, I have that like psychological background now of things I can talk about. But I just felt like it wasn't even really normalized to be able to do like a general BA and not have to decide in my first year, because I swear to God, if I took a general BA in my first year of university and just like sampled a shit ton of classes and like took a intro to psych class and took an intro to sociology and took an intro to photography, I would not have ended up in psychology. I swear. I don't like psych classes. And so it was really hard in grade 12. I just felt like I had to pick. And now I'm in fucking fourth year of university, and I'm also like, I wish I took business. I'm looking into different jobs that I feel like you need a business degree for, and I could have enjoyed that. And so that is hard. And I really want to normalize taking a year off between high school and university or college or anything that you're doing. Take some time for yourself to really learn who you are and like see where you go and see where you get pulled to. When you're not in school, you have time to learn things on your own for fun. What books are you reading? Like what different YouTube videos are you trying to watch? What knowledge are you trying to gain on your own when it's not being imposed on you by a teacher or a professor? Because being told for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I think 18 years. I was trying to count how many years I've been in school. 18 years, maybe even more than that. Being told what you need to learn for 18 years straight is like really annoying and really, it like discourages me from trying to seek knowledge on my own. Like I love reading books about, I'm just starting a book about how to find the calm in your life, or about productivity, or about laziness, and about like burnout, and about all the research behind that. And when you aren't being constantly told what to learn, you can really get to know yourself better and get to know what you actually probably do want to learn in that kind of disciplined setting. These are all things that I kind of just wish I knew when I was younger. And so in grade 12, I was like, okay, I picked psychology. My mom was like, I don't know, why don't you pick photography? Which is kind of rare for, I don't know. I remember going to school, I went to an art school, and so everyone was like, what? Your mom thinks it's more legit for you to do photography? I'm so jealous. And I picked psychology. And a part of me felt like I needed to rebel away from the art schoolness of everything, because I'd been in art schools for so long and I was so tired of just like that energy, and I felt like I needed to switch it up. Turns out I actually prefer the art school energy. Surprise, surprise. But then when I got into my first year of university, I had to take all these required courses for psych, and then I only had like 1 or 2 open electives. There were like other pigeonholed electives where it's like you have to pick from this list, so that was like boring to me. And then there was open electives. And again, I felt like, well, if I'm majoring in psychology, then I want to minor in something else that I'm interested in, like entrepreneurship. If I don't really want to be in university, or I'm like, I did want to be in university. I really, really did. I just like struggled to kind of see the point of everything I was trying to learn in psych. And so I was like, I'm going to do a minor in entrepreneurship. But then I literally used nearly every single open elective I had to minor in entrepreneurship and take classes that I didn't really care about just because they were required for this minor. And I was also taking quite a few philosophy courses. So then I was like, perfect. I'm going to double minor in philosophy and entrepreneurship. Well, I got to my 4th year. I got to my 3rd year and I was like, I do not want to use all these open electives on entrepreneurship again. Like I really wanted to take some different courses. And I think I only had 1 more course I needed for entrepreneurship, but I was like, no, I literally only have 2 more open electives. I want to take creative writing and I want to take improv. And I'm so glad I did both. I'm doing creative writing right now, really liking it. And I did improv last semester, really, really liked it too. So I don't regret that, but I regret pigeonholing myself into thinking I had to minor in entrepreneurship and therefore didn't take any other cool courses that I really felt interested in. And so that's like something that was like really annoying. And then I kind of just fell into a philosophy minor and saw that I only had a few more required that I was still interested in. But then in 4th year in my fall semester, I was taking philosophy courses that I hated. I did 2 classes for each of them and I was like, this is awful. And I was telling my coworker and she's like, if you hate them and they're electives, then why are you taking them? And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. Why am I taking them for a minor that I don't need? I'm going to drop them. And I took improv instead. And I ended up taking some other fun courses. Fun in air quotes. How fun is a course? I don't know. But overall, I wanted to tell this story because I pigeonholed myself. That's like the key word theme of this episode. I pigeonholed myself into taking these courses for a minor I never even ended up declaring because I didn't complete either of them. And instead I could have spent so much more of my university career using electives I had for things I was really interested in. Because when you're already taking mandatory courses you're not enjoying, you really need to take advantage of those other courses you have options on and just like pull in things that you're actually interested in that you probably like wouldn't learn about otherwise, or like would research on your own and now you want to learn about it in a school discipline and have it count towards your degree. And to kind of close off this whole school section and career section, you can always reinvent yourself. You can always change your career. I actually was listening to a podcast the other day. It was a Rachel Hollis like mastermind episode where someone was coming on and giving like juicy information. And this guy said, a lot of times when you're unhappy, it was just so good. I think I'll link it below. I'll try and find it. And it's funny because I was in a bad mood when I was listening, so I didn't really realize I actually like retained the information. But he said that when you're unhappy, it's like one of many things. It's like you're either bored, or the environment that you're doing this passion thing, or the environment that you're working on, whatever you're working on in, maybe the environment is no longer right for you and you need to change the environment. Or it was like, I don't know, there's two other things. But the guy was saying that a lot of times people think that they need to change their career, but oftentimes it's actually, no, you don't need to change your career. You need to change the environment that you're in. Let's say I like love teaching so much and like I'm a teacher, but suddenly I start to really, really hate my job. And it's because my boss is rude. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, maybe it's my love for teaching hasn't changed that much. It's actually the environment that I'm teaching in. And so it's important to remember that like you can change your circumstance. It might not mean changing your entire career or changing your entire study, but maybe it's like trying a different class out, or sitting next to different people in class, or working at a different place in a similar role, or you're like bored and you're not really fulfilled anymore. So it's like you need to find a new challenge for yourself, or there's so many options. You are not really feeling fulfilled in your personal life. And so that's when you want to like pick up a new hobby, or try something for the first time, or start doing something you weren't really used to. Like maybe you're tired of clubbing every weekend and now it's time for you to like spend some quality time with yourself, or your dog, or your family, or your mom, or your brother, or your boyfriend, or your sister, or your girlfriend, or your partner, whatever. And so I encourage you to kind of play around with that. Maybe you're someone who hated clubbing, so you stopped, but like you still like a night out once in a while. It's like, okay, then make yourself go out on a Friday night and dress up and look hot, and maybe that will reignite something inside of you. And I wanted to just overall finish this episode and say that don't restrict yourself. Have fun. Allow yourself to play. This life is all about like connecting with that inner child in terms of playing and having fun and like forgetting about our daily stressors. And you can be multiple things at once. You can feel multiple things at the same time. Life is not so linear that we're just like, this is the sense of style I have. This is the thing I'm interested in. This is the hobby I have. And this is what I do with my free time. No, we can open up the world. Maybe just like go to a techno concert if you've never done techno stuff. Go dance line dancing if you're not really like sure if you're into it or not. Go take a singing lesson if you've never done it, or like go play soccer. Go join an intramural team with your school. Half of these things I'm not interested in, half of them I am. So just take what you want from it. If you have another idea, run with it, and know that like life is so much more exciting when you mix things up, try things that are new, and it helps you discover a lot more about yourself. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, and know that you can always change up your life if you're unhappy. Thank you so much for listening. I am really enjoying kind of getting into the swing of posting episodes more regularly. I am posting every Monday, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. Download them as well, because that means a lot. It really helps promote the show, and leave a review. Follow me at Human to Human Pod on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll stay in touch with you on there. In the meantime, before I post a new episode, I can't wait to tell you about my human to human connection moment that I have next week. And if you have one that makes you happy, share it with me on Instagram. Bye, guys.